Hello and welcome back to the MC Championship video. We were blessed with the MCC 22 teams last week, so let's discuss each team, analyze their strengths and weaknesses, and try to rank each one from last to first. And I say try because damn, they're balanced. All thanks go to Scott's Major for these insane teams. A quick disclaimer, my discussion of each team is based purely on facts and statistics from past events, nothing will be made up, and as for my ranking, it's all opinion based while remaining unbiased. So please, if you have something to say about these teams, then go ahead and join me down below in the comments, share your thoughts on the MCC 22 teams. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because once again it's my opinion, and yeah, I'm most definitely wrong with all of my placements, because the teams are more balanced than ever before, and there were so many possible combinations for where to put each team, plus we don't know the game order or what games will be in this event, and the coin multiplier therefore makes it impossible for me to get every single placement correct, but in previous videos I've managed to get just a couple right. With that out of the way, let's look at our MCC 22 teams. In last place, but by no means the worst team, the Green Geckos, with Sapnap, Michael McChill, Foolish Gamers, and Tina Kitten. This wasn't a hard one for me considering there's two newcomers, but with Sapnap on the team it just feels wrong, especially after his first place individual just last event, which was also his 5th canon win. But I always have to err on the side of caution when half the team have never played before, as this could mean inexperience. Now we've seen in the past that some teams with two new players actually do really well, the most recent example being the MCC 20 Orangeoscars. Sapnap will lead the team with PvP, bearing in mind he has also already teamed with Michael in MCC 15, another event which he won. I think Foolish would be in contention for top 25 perhaps, and since I've already seen Tina put in some practice on the MCC training server, she could place in the upper half of the bottom 10, or even higher. Next up in 9th we have the Aqua Axelotls with H-Bomb, Grian, False Symmetry, and Good Times with Scar. It's a great vibes team reminiscent of the famous MCC 17 Orangeoscars, but statistically slightly weaker now. Not that this team will mind, since they would be more focused on having fun instead. Once again we have the popular Grian plus Scar duo from last event, and False is also thrown in here to make the first team with 3/4 Hermitcraft players since the MCC 14 Llamas exactly 1 year ago. H-Bomb is back after becoming the first 5-time champion in MCC 20, and is sure to lead the team in Sands of Time and Build Mod, perhaps even Grid Runners, so it's clear that this is a great squad for team games. But it's been hinted that a team game may be out of the roster this time, but that's not confirmed yet. Scar has only played twice, and on both instances finished bottom 10 individually, but with the help of a slightly more consistent duo of Green and False, who both typically can manage top 25, this team could really pop off despite the statistics proving otherwise. Let's now take a look at the first ever all-female team in a canon MCC, the Yellow Yaks, with Jojo Solos, Sylvie, G Nelly, and Blushy. This will be a really exciting team for a lot of people. It will be a fun and chaotic POV that I will definitely have to watch back. I think it's cool to see that despite it being all-female, a lot of the players already know each other really well, with Jojo and Blushy teaming first in MCC Rising, which they won, and then again in MCC All-Stars, which were both non-canon events, which technically means that Blushy is also a newcomer as well now. Furthermore, we saw Jojo and G Nelly team on the MCC 21 Aqua Axelotls. The team may heavily rely on Jojo, who managed an impressive 8th place for her first canon event, alongside top 15 in both her non-canon participations. Sylvie has really proven herself by placing just over midway since MCC 16, can definitely see her getting top 25 again perhaps. G Nelly has only played twice, in her latest event finished 37th individually, and Blushy has some exceptional movement capabilities, which does carry this team to get to the other side and rack a fan score, which also appears to be one of their stronger games too. But one of the best games statistically for this team is actually Build Mod. While I don't doubt the girls at all, I just think that the rare opportunity they have to play it together means that they may also play for fun rather than competitively. But I could be wrong, maybe this team is actually looking for the dub. Moving on to 7th place, which will be the Blue Bats with Tapel, Tubbo, Snifferish, and Erod. We're seeing the Tapel plus Tubbo duo return for the 3rd time now, and after a shocking MCC 20 performance on the Llamas, they will be looking for a redemption, with Tubbo finishing 11th place in MCC 21 and Tapel not far behind with 13th place in MCC 20. They are definitely a strong pair for PvP, making Battlebox one of their stronger games statistically. Snifferish on this team could in some ways be seen as a wildcard, having only played in MCC 21, which she actually won, with 20th place individual. Erod's season 2 performance hasn't been particularly good, but they recently pulled out 23rd place in MCC 19 late last year, and they really contribute to this team's Grid Runner score, alongside Tubbo, again one of their better games by the numbers. One more game that they should keep to play late is Rocket Beef Rush, especially after both Tapel and Tubbo survived round 3 in MCC 20, but even though this movement game is great for them, they should avoid holding the wall, as this is one of their worst games on average. Almost at the halfway point now, 6th place are the Purple Pandas with Hans, Shubble, Geminite, and Cubvan. I must say I was not expecting Puns to start teaming with Hermitcraft, but this is very much welcomed by the community. Puns is another insane combat player and has teamed with Shubble twice before in MCC 16 and 18, which were some of his highest individual placements. Cubvan, although having lost MCC 20's Dodgeball, still left with a solid 14th place individual, with Geminite in 18th for the same event which she won. Shubble has proven to be a little inconsistent though, going as high as 20th place in MCC 17, but from their mostly bottom 10 individual placements. The Purple Pandas as a whole are statistically the 2nd best build mod team in the event, taking into account only season 2 averages, thanks to Cub, Gem, and Shubble's high averages in that game. But their best games have to be Grid Runners and Sands of Time. However, in each case, they aren't too far from the 2nd best team in each game. Overall, I'm not surprised that this team excel at team games, and they will need every single one available in their roster if they want to make it into the top 2. Here we go, moving into the top 5 teams for this event, starting with the Red Rabbit. Rabbits with Dream, George Unfound, Awesome Dude, and Captain Puffy. This is a similar team to the MCC 10 Red Rabbits with Awesome Dude instead of Solidarity, and also to the MCC 18 Free Ship Frankensteins with Captain Puffy instead of Quackity. So despite it being the lowest team by last event coins, this team obviously has lots of chemistry, especially as one of two all Dream SMP teams in this event. Dream coming off of 17th place last event, but is usually found in the lower half of the bottom 10. Once again with George, who finished 20th last event, so not too far behind Dream, but considering his team were casual and for fun that time, I'm sure he could score higher. And this is highlighted by his back-to-back 8th place individual placements in MCCs 18 and 19. Joining them is Awesome Dude, who is really inconsistent because he has gone from 12th in MCC 19 down to 33rd in MCC 21. And to round off the team is Puffy, who really does well at keeping the team together, and their strength lies in team games. Therefore, unsurprisingly, this team does above average in grid runners by the statistics, but also in movement games such as parkour tag, and is the third strongest team this event for Sands of Time, survival games, and to get to the other side and like a fan, proving their insane consistency on the whole as a team. Here's an interesting one to watch out for: the Llamas with Quigs, Major, Solidarity Gaming, and Pearlescent Moon. As it will be Quig's birthday on the day of the event, I really wanted to place this team higher, but I still couldn't fit them in. I'm sorry, this doesn't mean I don't think they won't win though. The driving force is Quig, including his second place individual finish in MCC 20 and rarely leaving the top 10 placements throughout his lifetime. With him is Smager, the two of them winning MCC 5 and then teaming again in All-Stars last November only to lose Dodgeball. Smager, despite a couple of top 10 features in MCC 17 and 18, has been finishing just below the middle more recently. Although Solidarity finished 40th in MCC 21, his 15th place finish on the MCC 17 Llamas should be noted, and he was actually teamed with Quig for that event. Finally, we see the return of Pearlescent Moon, who hasn't played since MCC 18, and although she's been bottom 10 occasionally, in her last MCC she did place 21st. This team does very well at Ace Race, with Quig being the #1 player statistically for that game in the event, despite having never finished the race in first place, highlighting his unrivaled consistency. But this is the best build mod team for this event, which is no surprise thanks to Smager's incredible communication. And this is the best hole in the wall team, especially after Pearl finished 3rd place for that game in MCC 18. The 3rd place team who unfortunately barely missed Dodgeball from this list are the Scion Coyotes with Ranboo, CPK, Wilbur, and Wisp. From the surface, this team looks unreasonably cracked, and that is what I initially thought too, but the numbers tell a different story. CPK just came back from winning MCC 21 with his joint highest individual placement of 5th, and he recently teamed with Wisp back in MCC 19, so it's cool to see them back. And going further back, CPK and Wilbur were on the same team for MCCs 6 and 7, so we haven't seen that duo for a while. And of course, the very common duo of Ranboo and Wilbur means this team will not struggle with establishing the vibe, which should be entertaining. Ranboo has had noticeable performances last year, but his most recent placement of 24th is his joint lowest ever. Despite this, top 15 being quite possible from them. Wilbur is another great example of inconsistency at its finest, somehow managing 10th and 12th individuals in MCCs 15 and 17 respectively, but then goes as far down as 32nd in MCC 20. Wisp also seems to play less competitively on these kinds of teams, typically between the 20th to 30th range for placements. As expected, this is the best Ace Race team in the event, but survival games and Rocket Speed Rush should be avoided at all costs. Here are the top 2 teams that could very well enter Dodgeball, although in actuality any of the 10 teams could make it into the finale. This is just my gut instinct. Our runner-up team are the Orangeoscars with Pizza Hut, Smallish Beans, Ryguy Rocky, and Spifey, bringing together another squad of duos we've seen in the past, including Pete and Joel on the winning team of MCC 10. We saw Pete and Spifey in MCC 16, which was Spifey's last event, and more recently we saw Pete and Ryguy team in All-Stars and then MCC 20. It's fair to say that Pete has not had the best start to MCC in 2022, with still decent 12th place placements back-to-back MCCs 20 and 21, but well below his personal average. Conversely, Joel has had some very good Season 2 events, best example being his 7th place individual in MCC 21. Ryguy's back after MCC 20 and he usually seems to be chilling in the middle of the pack for individual standings. Spifey hasn't played for a while, but in the 3 canon events they've played in their lifetime, they only finished bottom 10 once in MCC 12, so I doubt they will hinder the team from their extended absence. This team has huge numbers in some of the games. Indeed, they are statistically the #1 team this event for parkour tag, Rocket Speed Rush, and survival games, and by a lot, with Pete having the highest Rocket Speed Rush average and Joel massively contributing with his SG successes. And in first place, although I don't expect a huge lead from them, the Pink Parrots, with Purpled, Tommy Innit, Captain Sparkles, and Orion Sound. Now overall, I think it's a very well-rounded team with a healthy amount of strengths. Leading this team most of the way will probably be Purpled, who finished in an incredible 3rd place individually last event. Amazing for only his 2nd MCC. He has good mechanical movement ability, mixed with PvP prowess, as shown with his Sky Battle and to get the other side and Whacker fan scores. In both games he's finished top 5 for them. It's fun to see Tommy and Captain Sparkles team for the first time since MCC 2. While you could call this a wildcard team mainly for Tommy's presence, I think that his 10th individual last event really shows something about what he can do if he chooses to take the event seriously. And who wouldn't want to take it seriously if there's a chance to break the captain's curse? Orion San is a returning and frequent Season 2 player and a grinder who always practices on the MCC training server. So no doubt this team will be heading into this tournament with the intent of making 3 new first-time winners. Like the Orangeoscars, they have 3 games where they do the best in the event: Battle Box, Sky Battle, and to get the other side and Whack a Fan. I think the thing to take away from this is that rankings are starting to become more and more unpredictable, and that's a good thing because it shows the teams are becoming more and more balanced. You know, looking at my own ranking, I still feel unsure about how low I placed the yellow yaks. Maybe they should be a couple places higher, but at what expense? See, if I move a team up a few spots, who should I move down? Even as I'm recording this, I haven't made up my full mind, and that's okay. Remember that these are just initial thoughts, and they will undoubtedly change as I see which teams I'm putting in the most re-event practice, and which games will be announced, and for which teams it will benefit the most. I might post my final predictions right before the event starts in the comments below, so go join me there to discuss these epic teams. Well, I've been your host. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you all in the next MCC video. See ya!